Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of BTOP Live. So we're rolling these things out. So glad that you all have been very supportive of this, and it's a lot of fun to do. Getting to meet lots of cool people. A lot of you guys that have been in the group for a long time. Finally getting to see your faces and have a chat with you. So it's getting real exciting to do that and to meet some people. The guest I have today is Carlos Mata. I don't know if I'm exactly saying his last name correctly, but I think that's it. Interestingly enough, Carlos and I crossed paths literally in back in October when we were playing the I think it was the Tucson White Sox in the MSBL World Series, the 35 and older division. There was this guy that was a leadoff batter that could crush, and he did cross my path as he passed third base on his way home. Um, but the only way I realized it was him is because he had mentioned something about being playing on a pickup team out there with the White Sox, and the after he had hit that first ball and went home, the third base coach told me that it's like, yeah, man, that guy, we just picked him up. We don't even know who he is. It's Carlos. So anyway, it's really kind of neat getting to meet him, having him on. So we're gonna talk here in just a minute. We'll bring Carlos on. Those of you that are watching this on YouTube, that means you are watching the replay version of this. If you want to be a part of our BTOP Live show and join in on the fun and watch it as it broadcasts live, you have to be a part of the BTOP Legends group to do that. And you can do that by looking at the description of this video and clicking on the link that I put down there for you. So check that out. Join the the BTOP Legends group. We would love to have you. So just a little bit that I know about Carlos. I believe he's from North Carolina, if I'm correct, and he is a tattoo artist and an amazing one at that. Hey man, it's good to finally meet you.
Bro, it was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I was actually kind of just telling everybody before you got on that our paths literally crossed in Arizona as you rounded third base right past me. Literally crossed my path. And I was telling
Which we
everybody,
ended up losing that day.
no, you guys beat us that day. You might have lost
Oh
later.
man, we took so many L's that day, man. So that whole Arizona trip was like kind of a blur. Like
Yeah,
we had a couple good, games,
yeah.
and then we took a bunch of losses at the end, man.
Well,
That was an experience, though,
you
bro.
got at least one W because we all we did was lose. So we had six
I feel
losses.
your pain, brother.
Yeah.
I feel your
But
pain.
I was telling everybody how you the reason I knew, like, when you got on this group and you said that you played for the White Sox and you did the pool play. I I knew exactly who you were because when you rounded third base, the third base coach goes, "Yeah, man," he goes, "that dude," he goes, "we just picked him up. We don't even know who he is." It was so
I
funny.
didn't.
I was like, "That's the only
I
reason I knew."
literally,
So
I took my shot, man, and I've never played any real pro ball or anything like that. I missed my chances. But going out there was such an experience, bro, to play with like you guys and just play with such a great group of guys that it was like everybody was there for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
no,
everybody loved the game,
no doubt, yeah,
like, and just to like
yeah.
look out and when we played, wow, man, like I caught myself a bunch of times just looking out and just seeing do you remember how it was it was like a bunch of abandoned planes in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was a bunch of 747s and just plains and mountains.
Hmm.
So I caught myself a bunch of times just looking out like,
Yeah.
wow, like, oh my God, I'm playing a baseball game. Let me pay attention. But it
Yeah,
was something I
yeah.
grew up in Miami. I've never seen Arizona before. I've never played anywhere else. So to see that kind of like atmosphere was like surreal to me.
Well,
So to get
yeah,
to play against guys like you that like really played like competitive ball, it was great, man. I
it
loved it. I can't
was.
wait to go to Arizona
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, me too.
Legit.
Are you in North Carolina now? Is that right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, I'm playing right now in the MSBL over here in Raleigh,
Okay, gotcha.
and
Uh,
then the North Wake Men's Baseball League out here.
right. Okay. And you're
So
in
right now
in
I'm playing for the Swamp Donkeys right now.
Swamp
For the
Donkeys. Okay.
yeah
That's great. We have a team in our league
yes.
called the Space Donkeys.
Something about the donkeys, bro. I
I
don't
don't
know,
know.
but it's
Must be,
legit.
is that Republican or
It's
Democrat?
legit.
That's that's Democrats. Yeah. So but hey, I was also telling everybody too that what the reason why I selected you for this episode was because uh of your background in art. So you're a tattoo artist, right? Is that your full-time profession?
Yeah, I've been doing it for about. That's my profession. I've been doing it for about 15 years now, and
Hmm.
it's amazing. You know, to be able to sit down and just draw on people all day long
Oh
and
my
get paid
gosh,
to do
yeah.
to stab people. Yeah,
They ever give you
like
artistic
whenever I
freedom on
got
it?
in trouble for drawing, whenever I got in trouble for drawing, like now, like I have a couple teachers that like follow me on my page, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, I remember you gave me an F. You know,
Yeah. Oh
so I
yeah.
remember that.
Do you have any clients that give you artistic freedom?
Oh, all of them.
Oh
Basically,
yeah.
they just all give me like just give me a road, give me an avenue. You know,
Right.
tell me where to go. Give me a small description of what you want, and I'll go with it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I told everybody before you got on to give a thumbs up if they want you to give them free tattoos in Arizona. I'll just play
Facts for sure.
it. Yeah.
If I'm
So
not too sore, bro, I got it, man.
free. Yeah, I'm sure you're all about giving away free services. But no, man. I mean,
In Arizona,
yeah,
I'm the happiest you'll ever find me in Arizona playing ball, man. So
yeah,
I'll give away whatever you want me to give away.
right. So have you done any baseball tats?
Um, well, I used to work in a shop called Major League Tattoos in Miami,
Okay.
and when I was growing up, my family comes from a family of barbers. So there was this one guy, Juice Hugo, and he has a barbershop inside of Marlin Stadium. And when I was growing up, his son came to Miami Lakes Optimist, where I used to be an umpire, and I used to have to rate the kids to like see who was like 4 or 5 or anything like that. And his son was outstanding, So obviously I gave him what he deserved, which was like a 4 or 5. And when I met him and I said my last name, he's like, "Your uncle has a barbershop in Carroll City, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I know your uncle's barbershop." I was like, "All right, cool, man. That's nice." And then during the years, he established himself as like a barber for Major League Baseball players. And
Oh
then
wow. Wow.
somehow, some way, because of our relationship, he started bringing those players to us. So I got the privilege to hang out with Dontre Willis, Miguel Cabrera, Hannibal
Awesome, man.
Sanchez. Um, like I mean, the list was like on like every like my first professional ball player to ever get a tattoo was a backup catcher named Sean Riggins.
Oh yeah.
Sean Riggins, um, he he came to the shop. He's like, "Yo, I gotta go to winter ball in Puerto Rico, and I got this cover up I need done, and I need you to do it within 2 days." And I was like, "Man, that's short notice," but we got it done. And then he comes and he's like, "I'm gonna take you out as like a thank you." I'm like, "Man, you don't have to do all that."
Hmm.
So I go home, I tell my daughter's mom, I'm like, "Listen, this pro ball player, he's gonna take me out as like a tip to say like, thank you for the work that I did. Nothing. This guy
Hmm.
shows up in a stretch Hummerzine to my house. And I'm like, how am I going to explain that I'm going to go out in a
Yeah.
Hummerzine,
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
Major League Baseball player?
Yeah.
And it's no big deal. It's nothing.
I mean, you're going to be partying. That's
So
that's
we
what
go
that
up
looks
to,
like.
oh my God. Yeah, I've been fortunate because of what I do. and because of
Mhm.
the love that I have for the game, I've been able to like hang out with guys that have been like Miguel Cabrera. Like I went out with him on Halloween, pictures with him.
Yeah.
Like he's literally in the club with no shirt on, me,
Yeah.
him hanging out. Like
Yeah.
you know, and Miguel's a big dude. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's a huge guy.
He was a catcher too, right?
Miguel Cabrera,
Yeah.
first baseman for Detroit.
First baseman. Okay. Which dude, my Cubby fans are gonna hate me for this, but wasn't there a Miguel that was in the World Series with the Cubs? Um.
No, he started the Miguel Cabrera that I know started
Yeah.
off with the Marlins,
Okay.
and then got traded to Detroit. With
Okay.
him and Doncho Willis got traded to Detroit, and which hurt me because they won the World Series, and it was kind of hard to be like a Miami fan because every time we won the World Series, it just felt like our team got disbanded.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and it hurt me. It hurt me a lot because it was like we were personal friends with these people. Like we would go to their house, we would hang out with these people. Like Doncho Willis like threw me the keys to his Bentley one time to go pick something up. So I'm like this kid driving around in a Bentley that belongs to Doncho Willis, one of like a MVP, World Series champion. Like this dude's just handing me a key to his Bentley, and I'm like, dude, if I wreck this car is worth more than my life. Like, how am I gonna pay this guy back? You
Yeah.
know? But it like because of tattooing, I got to really benefit from it with baseball, and I had no idea that would ever even happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool, man. It's really cool. I know. I mean, when I got my, this. I don't know if you can see this one right here, my arm. It's this was a big deal to me, and so I researched and I researched and I researched. It took me about a year and a half before I finally selected a tattoo artist. So I got a pretty good glimpse around, or a pretty good my footing in Oklahoma City and like where these like the really top artists are. And dude, you hold up, man. I'd get a tattoo from you in a heartbeat. Your stuff is really
I like
really
I've
so.
literally been trying to. When I got back from Arizona, I told myself, I really need to step up, man. I need to really push, because I when I had my son, he's 3 years old now. When I had him, I lost focus, and I was trying to be more of like a full-time dad, and I kind of like put tattooing more as like a part-time. And when I got back from Arizona, I was like, man, I really need to step up.
Hmm.
And it literally became right now that's my focus to just get as good as I
Yeah.
can. Just because I
Right.
know because of my past, it opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. I'll have to have you do like my goal. You see this? I always wear a sleeve on this arm because I have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
scarring on this arm, and so like what I want to do is get a tattoo from here up to the elbow. But I'd love to just do like solid,
Solid black.
just well, I don't want to do solid black. I just want to do a baseball theme sleeve, half sleeve up to the elbow.
Oh man,
That's what I want to
I'm
do.
down,
But
brother. I'm down.
yeah, we'll have to figure that
I'm
out.
down.
But anyways,
Yeah,
hey,
because I really don't have like a lot of clients that are like willing to do baseball themed. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like that
know.
doesn't really happen a lot, and that's up my alley.
Yeah. Well, man, tell me about. I mean, we did get into some baseball discussion there on that. But what's your journey in baseball been?
My journey, honestly, it's always been my go-to for honestly to just find myself like my you know to find my strength of who I was baseball.
Yeah.
I grew up in the projects of Miami, so baseball leveled out the field. It didn't matter where you came from, what you had, money wise, or
Yeah.
where your parents came from. On the field,
Yeah,
it was a
exactly.
leveled playing field. It was between me and you and who wanted it more.
That's right.
So that became, literally my pride. You know, I had a crappy glove somebody gave me, a hand-me-down glove, spikes that were hand-me-downs, and it didn't matter. You
Yeah.
can show up with whatever you had on,
That's true
and
Sandlot
as long as
Sandlot
I
story.
knew, yeah, we basically we had a rec center where like each elementary in Hialeah, we would
Hmm.
play against different elementaries, and it was always just like a pile of dirt. It wasn't, nobody
Mm-hmm.
was raking the field. There was no chalk. It was just a crappy diamond, and
Mm-hmm.
who wanted it more? So that desire to want to just play hard came from there. Like, we had nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but we wanted to play.
Right.
It didn't matter,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. And did you ever have a hiatus? Like, or you just after high school you just jumped right into men's ball, or was there a gap at some point?
I mean, I ought to be completely honest. I had a couple offers to go to college, but I was uh I was a little stubborn in my youth, and had a little bit of like, bad situations with teachers that like try to like hold baseball over my head. Like, if I got to late to class, or like, oh, I'm gonna tell the coach this and the other. And like it just became like one of those things where it was like you're using baseball against me,
Mm-hmm.
when baseball is the only thing I really have.
Right.
And unfortunately, I had a teacher that, we got into a little scuffle, and I got kicked out of school. And because of what happened, I wasn't given a chance to go back to school. And I really couldn't afford to go to private school. So my baseball career kind of like took a back seat, and it was just like, okay, so what can I do now?
Right.
So I tried out for a couple independent ball teams. I got picked up with the Port Charlotte Redfish, and because I couldn't leave Miami, it was like, sorry, there's your, that's it. Like, you can't do anything more. Where we want you to come to spring training, we want you to make the team, but if you can't leave Miami, there's nothing we can do for you. So
Right.
that was like the last opportunity I had. So from there, it was just like straight men's ball. From there on out, it was just men's ball. So it's been the most frustrating to play with guys that have played like D1, pro ball and stuff like that. And they always ask me the same thing. Oh, where'd you play?
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere. I didn't play anything.
Yeah.
But I had the skills for it.
Right.
And
Well, that's what matters.
that's why I keep playing. Yeah, I keep playing because I love it.
Yeah. Well,
I miss my shot.
yeah. I played a year of college, and I the college experience. I quit after that year because it was just miserable. It was making me hate the game. And
Yeah.
but all these years later, so when I started, I had a 20-year hiatus. So when I started playing MSBL, or ours isn't MSBL league anymore, but you get what I'm saying. We
Mm-hmm.
were it was 20 years since college, uh, but the thing I realized is that I always kind of felt like I got a raw deal. Like, it could have been a better college experience. I just went to the wrong one, type thing.
Yeah.
And um, when I started playing with these guys, I was like, I think at my age now, I enjoy the game and much, much better. This is what it's supposed to be. It's what it should be. Um,
Yeah.
and so I don't have. It really kind of helped me manage my regrets, or the what could have happened if,
Yeah.
type things. And
Like,
because this is what it's supposed to be, and I don't care if I'm getting paid to
yeah.
do it. It's really good therapy, basically. So
I mean, at the end of the day, we're playing a game. It's a
yeah.
game. And when I was in my early 20s, a lot of my friends were playing for the University of Miami. A lot of D1 schools, and whenever they got signed, they would come back to Florida, and we would get them ready for spring training. And like, when I was in Arizona, I actually ended up meeting up with a friend of mine named Schmitty. He was with the White Sox organization. When I met him, he was in his early 20s, first year with the Sox, and he would come down to Florida, and we would get ready. Everybody was getting ready. I was the only one that wasn't going anywhere. I was just like
Hmm.
hanging out with all these pro ball players. And when I look now, all these guys have hung up their cleats. They've hung them up. They don't want to play no more. Me,
Right.
I today I went and did practice with my 35 and over league with donkeys, and then I left there and I went to do practice with my 15U travel team. So all day has been baseball, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know, that there's nothing during the day that can make me happier than playing baseball.
Yeah.
I don't care if my arm is feeling like it's gonna fall off.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up every day after a day of baseball and you feel like you want to die. You know,
Right. Yeah.
but you ask me to go the next day and do it again, absolutely,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's kind of one of the functional. One of the things that's functional about pain is that it it lets you know you're alive, right? So to live a
Oh yeah,
pain-free
exactly.
life is really a shallow life, you know. And so baseball even
Yeah.
challenging us in the just with, you know, put help at 40, you know, I'm 40, I turn 41 tomorrow. And at 41 years old, you
Happy
know,
birthday, brother.
thanks, man. But yeah, I had to work that in there. But you know, at 41 years old, baseball challenges me to challenge what my body can do, you know, still, and that makes us feel younger. I feel like even when I wake up achy and sore than I probably what I would have 20 years ago, I still feel a lot more youthful than I would if I
Yeah.
didn't play. So yeah,
I mean, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks ago. I had a client of mine that I've had for years, and I hadn't seen him
yeah,
for a long time. And he came to the house, and he was like, "Man, you know, you look like you're in a lot better shape." And I was like,
yeah,
"Well, you know, I started coaching again, and I've been playing a little bit of ball, you know, so I have no choice but to, you know, get in better shape, you know, because
hmm,
I can't have these 15-year-old kids thinking that, you know, they're better than us, you know.
right,
At
right,
15,
right.
they really think they have the game figured out.
Oh
They
yeah,
really
yeah,
do, you know.
yeah,
So I got to get out there. I got to show them that, you know, we still got it, you
you're
know.
right,
At 35 plus,
yeah,
we still know what we're doing,
right,
you know. But we also have to put in the time to get in shape for it, you know, because the first time that I started coaching, I wasn't there. I literally was not there. You hit a ball, I'll catch it, but it's not gonna be as smooth as it used to be. So
right,
when I went to Arizona, before I got to Arizona, I gave myself a goal. You know, like when I go to Arizona, I'm gonna go in some kind of shape that at least I can play well.
yeah,
And when I got back, I continued the regimen, you know, and it's not nothing crazy, you know, like it's maybe 3 times, 4 times a week that I'll do something, you know,
hmm,
baseball related, either rubber band or, you know, lifting, BP, you know, infield, anything. But it does make you feel better. It does make and for my client to look at me and be like, man, you look better than you did, you know, a year or two ago because of baseball. You know, again,
yeah,
anything that has to do baseball related, just
yeah.
it makes me a better person.
Yeah,
You know.
oh, I'm with you on that. With you. So talk to me about this. You know there's we can call it the art of the game, or there's the art of hitting, the art of pitching, or just I want to speak more generally though about just the art of the game. And so as you as an artist, um, which you have to utilize your creativity, that part of your brain every day of your life, right? So I have a couple
Yeah.
questions about that. The first question is just general about, what um, uh, what is art? How does baseball make us all artists? Let's just say that. And then the second question,
Repetition.
okay. The second question was,
Repetition.
okay, let's go. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Then I'll ask you my second question. What do you mean repetition?
Mm. Okay. If right now I have to, like when I started tattooing, let's just say I was given a star to tattoo.
Hmm.
The first star is gonna come out completely banged up, shaky lines. The depth isn't gonna be there. It's just not gonna be a well done tattoo. But
Hmm.
if I do 10 of those, it's gonna come out better every time I do it. Same thing with your swing,
Hmm.
same thing with your approach catching a ground ball. If you continue to do it, the longer you do it, the more you do it, the more you understand, I did this wrong, I did that right. You know, the more you do it, the more you start understanding how to become better. You know, it's all about repetition. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm an artist, yes, Did I ever take art class? No. Was I ever
Mm-hmm.
given any kind of artistic knowledge? No. It was repetition. It was continue
Right.
to do, is trusting the process.
Yeah.
Trust it. Don't think that knowledge is gonna come by being handed to you. It's not gonna come that way.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put in the work. You got to do it over and over and over again. The same thing with a swing. Your swing, you're gonna feel it naturally. Whenever you hit a home run, what do you feel? Nothing but a pop,
That's right.
and it's gone.
It feels so
It's
good.
gone.
Yeah.
It's effortless.
Yeah.
It's effortless. Why? Because you've done it so many times that it feels like it was effortless.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing when you give me a star to do now, that's easy work. I can
Mm-hmm.
do that with my eyes closed. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I relate it with baseball and art. If you continue to do it the right way, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
effortlessly.
Right.
Catching a ground ball, you hit me 100 ground balls. The
Mm-hmm.
first 50 might not look pretty, but those 50, they're going to start looking nice.
Right.
Why? Because I already did it.
Right.
And I know how it's supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. I tell when I'm working with the kids that I coach for my son's team. Like I was working with pitchers the other day, and I told them, I was like, that feeling you get when it all just felt right, like it was the right motion,
Absolutely.
the ball went to the right place, your finish was just how you wanted it. So that feeling, and they're all like, yeah, and I'm like, now recreate it.
Yeah.
Don't focus on throwing a strike. Focus on recreating that feeling because your brain will like that,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah. That I tell
yeah,
my kids the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
To me, again, like today, we literally hit maybe 70 ground balls, 70 pop flies. And in those 70, if we can get 10 that are perfect, stay within that. Stay within yourself, physically how you felt. If you were on top of the ball, if you caught the
Mm-hmm.
ball and you positioned yourself the right way, feel that, understand that. Stay in there, stay in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to fly open and try to do more than you need to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you threw that ball and it landed in the chest, do the same thing. And like
Right.
again, repetition. Stay
Recreate.
within
Yeah.
that zone.
Yeah.
Recreate it over and over. So that
Right.
way it's natural. When you get up, when I make practice hard, so the game is fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, when we're at practice, we're gonna bleed, we're gonna get hurt, we're gonna get hit. I actually had my shortstop I was hitting infield. The kid took one on the face, and he's
Mm-hmm.
got the yips right now, and I'm trying to get him out of it, but it's repetition. There's nothing else that's gonna take that away from him but repetition.
That's right.
Trust your glove. Yeah, we take one in the face here and there. My nose is banged up because I took plenty to the face. And
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly psychologically what that's gonna do is make you question your ability to catch a ground ball. Before he got hit, that kid was solid. Solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now he's unsure of himself. But
Yeah.
the only thing that's going to take that away is repetition.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. Do you think being an artist has and I know you haven't taken art classes, but you are an artist. I mean, no one can argue
Yeah.
that.
Yes, sir.
But do you think being an artist has helped you with baseball in any way?
Oh, of course. Of course. Because my mindset is the more I do it, the better I'm going to get. No matter what. No matter
Yeah.
what. Throw me 100 pitches, I'm going to hit it over and over again. And it's my job to start figuring out what works, what doesn't work. Example, today I was taking BP, and last week, for some reason, I was invited to go play softball. And you already know when you play softball, it's a different swing. The timing's different, your approach is different. So my
Mm-hmm.
swing was off. So I'm popping up, I'm rolling over, and I start telling myself, okay, go back to your basics.
Right.
Once I started doing that, I'm like one hop to the fence, and it was just repetition. If I just
Yeah.
continue to swing and start analyzing what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong, it's gonna work out because I'm gonna continue to do it until I figure
Right.
it out. Same thing with that. That's just being an artist. I'm sure Vinci and Picasso and everybody that did whatever they did it 100 times before they got it right.
Yeah.
Their master, their pieces of work that everybody now is acknowledging. I'm sure they did it 1,000 times before anybody recognized it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think some of them even, I can't remember which one, but there was one, is either Leonardo or Michelangelo, I think, that had a hard time, didn't even like some of the stuff that they were putting out. Like, like,
Oh, I'm my own worst critic.
yeah,
There's nothing I put out that I'm always 100%
yeah,
like. Maybe the one I just did last night, that one I'm very proud of because I spent 11 hours doing it.
jeez.
So that one I took my time and I knew I had to like hit it out of the ballpark. I knew it. Once I
Yeah,
saw what I had to do, I was like, okay, I gotta take my time on this. But
yeah,
there's nothing aside from that I'm 100% like, yeah, I
yeah.
killed that.
Well, let me
Everything I
get,
see, I'm always analyzing.
yeah, let me give you my take on it, and tell me if this fits for you or not. But so anybody that knows me well knows I am huge on the mental part of the game, and mental health is my trade, and so that part of it has been something I'm like, I say this all the time, we talk about the game being 90% mental, but then all of our training is physical. We're not spending a lot of time teaching kids how to, doing mental drills and things like that. So I think you're in the perfect profession for baseball, because I remember getting this tattoo, and I would watch this guy do
Mhm.
this thing. I'd sit there and just look at it, and he can't see anything. Like he can't. There's no way. There's ink, blood, and water all over the place. And and he's doing a little bit. He wipes
Yeah.
away, does a little bit. So obviously he's got to imagine the picture underneath all that, right? He's got to know.
Mhm.
He's got to use his imagination to be able to do. First, you got to use your imagination to be able to create the image, right? The picture that you're wanting. You have to take it from here and put it onto the canvas, right? But then you're having to deal with all the mess that is created from doing it on
Yeah, the
a
outside
human.
elements that is the chaos of the art.
Right.
Like what people ask me all the time, like, how do you see, when the ink is like all over the place? How do you know where that needle's at? How do you know it's going
Right.
down the same line?
Yeah. Oh my.
Okay. How do you know when you catch a ground ball, it's in your glove? How do you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Repetition,
Yeah. Well.
repetition.
Yeah.
It just it becomes second nature.
But part of that repetition, I think, is that you're still having to. It's not just like you're on autopilot, letting your hand just do whatever, right? You have to use your imagination. Like you have to be able to see your image right up here the whole time, and no amount of blood or water or ink can cover that up, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I'm constantly harping on people about with the mental game, is like people are talking about like it's not so bad in this day and age, but back when I was growing up, is this whole revolution of watching the first pitch, and I'm like,
Mhm.
it's like, they'll say something like, see one first before you get up there and swing, and that's fine.
Yeah, to get your timing down.
If people want to do that, that's fine. But when I step up to the plate, I felt like I've seen this pitcher already, because while I'm in the on deck circle, I'm imagining myself at the plate, and I'm imagining
Yeah.
myself that ball coming in with every pitch. I'm picturing myself hit that ball and watching it soar that way off that
Mhm.
pitcher, and so in my mind's eye, I step up to the plate, and I feel like I've already seen him like 5 or 6 times just by standing in the on
Mhm.
deck circle.
Repetition, but
Eh,
that's a repetition.
right.
You've swung so many times. You've faced so many guys that being in the batter's box has already been burned in your mind.
Right.
You know this space. You're not unfamiliar with being there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
when you're there, you're zoned in because now you know that you've been here before.
Right.
Now I take someone with experience like you. and I take somebody that's never played a day in their life. I throw them in the batter's box. Who am I going to put my chips on? You. Why? Because you've seen it in your mind. You've been there. You experienced it. You've done it so many times that you physically, mentally are already in tune with what you can do. Now, somebody that hasn't done that, someone that hasn't gone down that road, they don't know what they're doing. They're never going to understand what it's like to hit a home run. You have, I have. We know that feeling. That feeling is a natural feeling that just comes when it's right, because we've done it so many times.
Right. No, yeah,
So
I agree with
I'm
you.
also an artist. You're also an artist.
Yeah.
We just have different brushes. That's all.
Yeah. Well, that's what, anybody watching this, all you ball players out there, like the ball field is our canvas. We go out
Absolutely.
there and and we'll paint a different picture with every movement, every motion, every at bat, every game, that we play. There'll be a different picture that's painted, right? And
Yeah.
I think it's very much uh, a uh, a game for artists, and I don't mean like artists like you are an artist in the ways that most people think of as artists, but I'm talking about like people
But there's a
that
medium. There's a different medium to describe an artist.
right, exactly, yeah,
My medium is skin. Um, when I think of a pitcher, and I know this has always been, told to me by different ball players, like pitchers, we always consider pitchers not as athletes but more artists. When they're on the bump, that's their art. They don't have to worry about batting. They have to worry about the count,
yeah,
their pitches. That's what they do. They have one specific job, pitching. So they're considered an artist. But I honestly think all of us are,
I agree.
because hitting a ball is an art in itself. Like,
Absolutely,
that's the concept of having to slow down your swing because it's an off-speed pitch. For you to understand that concept, that's an art. For you to even know that pitch is because of the count you're in, that's an art.
right,
And that comes with repetition and studying the game.
yeah,
Anybody that studies anything, in that kind of mindset, like, you're an artist. It doesn't matter your medium, whether it be me with a tattoo machine or you with a bat. You
right,
have to study. You have to be constantly repeating that motion, repeating that count. What is he gonna throw right now? Is he coming inside? Is he coming outside? Is he gonna come up and in? What is he gonna do?
yeah,
That's that mindset
right,
of an artist.
yeah. But don't you think that what where the success comes in is that you kind of have to be able to give yourself over to the art, like it's like
100%.
right. So
100%.
like I tell my kids all the time that we're coaching, I was like, we're not gonna coach you when you're when in a game, I was like,
Yeah. That's actually probably one of the worst things we can do.
yeah, I was like, give your mind. I was like, your mind knows what to do now. Let it do it.
Yeah. In
You,
practice,
yeah,
I drill them,
right.
so it becomes second nature. So when you go to the game, now it's easy because now
Hmm.
you don't have to think anymore. Just
Right.
just trust in the process of what you've done. You put in the work. Monday, Wednesday, from whatever hours we were there, we did it. Now
Hmm.
game time comes, don't think anymore. Trust the process. Trust your art. You did it.
That's right.
You refined yourself during the week, so the weekend
Hmm.
it's just a fluid motion.
Yeah. That's why I
So
don't.
like when I
Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, like what I do when someone presents me, a piece of art, I've been doing it all week. This is just another piece of art I need to do.
Hmm.
I need to trust myself that I can do this.
Right. Yeah, that's why I don't believe in the concept of having a short memory, when trying to help people out of slumps and stuff. I'm like, now have a selective memory, have a long memory, but a selective one. You know,
Very
remember
much so.
remember that we're playing a game that hardly anybody can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of the most hitting a baseball. It's not research proven through research, but it's widely considered one of the hardest things to do in any sport. You
Yeah.
know, and so
I
remember,
mean, guys are getting paid millions of dollars
yeah,
for this situation. Like, come on,
yeah,
it's for a reason.
yeah. So I don't like the idea of short memories. I say I have selective memories. Like I for whatever reason in Arizona, I was in the right mindset, and I have a memory bank of a lot of good experiences at the plate. I hit really well out there, you know, and I remind myself of that all the time when I'm at the plate, when I'm on the field. I try, you know, and the more of those memories we can store up when we get into a slump or something, we can work at recalling the good things that happen because your brain,
Absolutely right.
we have this natural
I actually did that today. I actually did that today. When I was taking BP today, my first 10 hacks were literally softball swings, and then I went back to Arizona.
yeah.
Took my mindset to Arizona. I had a hell of a tournament. We
Hmm.
might have not won, but I went nuts in Arizona.
Yeah, you hit really
But what I
well. So
found myself was just, yeah. I mean, I'm here where I'm at today because I showed you what I can do,
hmm.
and I'm very humbled by that. Like, like for me to be sitting here next to you, like talking to you about my game, like
Yeah,
it's been a long time coming of a lot of repetitions for me to be acknowledged.
yeah,
And when it came down to it in Arizona, I put it into play. And today, when I was kind of like, popping up and rolling over, I was like, what am I doing? Like why am I struggling right now? And then I thought back, all right, when I was hitting in Arizona, what was I doing? And when I started thinking about my approach, everything changed. My swing became level. I was extending my my swing. I was finishing my swing, and balls started getting more on a line drive. They were solid base hits, if
hmm,
doubles or singles. But the approach was different because what I took from Arizona, like you said, was that long term memory. What was I doing right then? What am I doing
right,
wrong now?
exactly. Yeah,
And now I took it and I had to make the adjustments, and that's the art of it.
yeah,
Having the experience to know yourself, know your body, know what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right,
yeah,
and making the right adjustments at the right moment to now start doing the right things and producing what you want out of this game, you know?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's that's an art.
absolutely.
At its purest form, that's an art. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like when I'm tattooing, if I see I'm not blending right, maybe
hmm,
I need to tone down, my power box because I'm doing something wrong. But I gotta think back at what I did right the last time. So I make the adjustments and I clean it up. Same thing. Regardless of the medium, it's about the experience of what we've learned in every aspect of life. Like
yeah,
you gotta do it that way.
yeah. I agree. Well, man, it's great having you on here.
It was a pleasure, brother.
Tell people if they want to follow your work with your tattoos. Tell them where they can find you on Instagram.
On Instagram, I'm at Murder Inc. 21.
Okay. Do you have any other websites or anything
Uh,
you want to put out there?
all I got right now is Murdering 21,
Okay.
and I have Facebook, which is Carlos Bada.
Yeah.
You guys can follow me, DM me if you want any work. If I am in Arizona and they want anything done, I have no problem bringing myself. If I'm
It's
not
so
too
cool.
sore, my arm is still on, I
Yeah.
have no problem working.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, dude, I was so looking forward to this meeting. But let's not let it be the last. Okay.
Not at all,
All
brother.
right,
You
man.
let me know and I'm ready, brother.
All right, man. You have a good night.
You too, brother.
See you.
Take care, man.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. That was The one and only Carlos Mata. If you guys are watching that, you could tell like he's a lively character. His love and passion for the game just emanates from him. You guys take care. Have a good night. Keep baseball in the brain as you go about your day, and I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.